So our first session today is entitled "It Takes a Village or Network," and what we're learning in First2. And Gay Stewart is our lead on the research program, the educational research program for the First2 Network. She is a real force here in West Virginia. We are so happy to have her on the First2 Network team. But in addition to that, she came to West Virginia to direct the WVU Center for Excellence in STEM Education, and really impacts the entire state in terms of teacher preparation, in terms of STEM offerings for K-12 students, and with the First2 Network, ensuring that students are able to persist in those STEM fields if they're interested in them. So, I mean, she really has a wide influence over the state, and really a wide knowledge about what goes on in all the different sectors of STEM, STEM persistence and STEM success in West Virginia. So we're really, really happy to have her. And Gay, I'm going to turn the floor over to you for your presentation.
Thank you. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And just the pretty picture, not anything you shouldn't see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Don't want to, give away the ending before we get there. So thank you for the lovely introduction and the too much credit. I'm excited to be part of this work. And I guess I will figure out that everybody here knows who First2 is now. So let me just, okay, why won't it? There we go. And again, the idea is we're trying to understand how to ensure all students who would like to pursue STEM careers have the opportunity to succeed in that pursuit, and that more students actually have the opportunity to even see this is their potential future. We've identified some of the obstacles. Joanna keeps finding more. And at all phases in this project, what got us started is we realized that many institutions have part of the solution, and we needed an alliance, a network to help pull those pieces together to improve student success. So hence it takes a village. And again, my firm belief, and I think where everybody in First2 is kind of at, is that any student who wishes to pursue college or STEM and is willing to put in the work should be given a true opportunity to be successful. Our proposal did focus on rural first-generation students. And so that's when I pull out some examples, that'll be the group that I'm looking at. But our ultimate goal is to have the success for any students who are underrepresented in STEM. And our research into the barriers just reinforces that no one institution can fix this alone. We have to learn from each other and work together. So some of the things we've found, students who want to come to college in STEM are often underprepared. Obviously, no one institution can fix this. There have been a variety of approaches for working on this at the First2 institutions, and great understanding that we need to help ameliorate the impact of too few highly qualified STEM teachers in high school in West Virginia. First2 institutions are working on how to recruit and prepare more highly qualified teachers, how to better support current math teachers and increase their math or math pedagogy skills as needed, and their leadership skills so they can better support fellow math teachers in their districts. And Joanna, who's here with us, is central in that work. Of course, we have some students who come from an environment in West Virginia where they might never have gotten a chance to understand even that they'd like to study STEM, what it is and what the careers available are, that they could study, they could go to college and learn and still, stay and work in their state. Programs across West Virginia are working on this. We're trying to understand this. I mean, rural is really complicated. Margie Dara, who leads our qualitative research group, has been trying to pick this apart. The First2 is involved in an asset mapping project, which can help connect educators and families to resources. Programs across West Virginia are working with West Virginia teachers to help them expose their students to something that's outside of their own knowledge base. Things like Code WV, robotics, Project Accelerate, and many more. The thing we are seeing, and even as early as the development pilot, first generation to go to college students experience barriers they should not. Part of that's lack of family support, lack of someone who can advise them. They may wait to come get help until it's too late. They don't realize they need help. When they do need help, they may have trouble finding those resources on their campuses. We all need to learn from each other to break down these barriers. Even though colleges think these things are easy to find, what we find from talking to our students is they're not, or they get contradictory information. And sometimes what we're finding is faculty can be very well-meaning and they can say something that they think is supportive, but which students hear as a put down. And so, we have to be careful and we have to learn and understand. I'm going to pull out a few little research facts because I can't stand not to. The research I'm going to show you today pulls from WVU data. I'm going to make a pitch that we want partners to look at more places, but we get some good insights because about a third of all the in-state undergraduate college students in West Virginia are at WVU. So we have a large enough sample that we can start picking apart things and see what seems to be the important factors. There's a lot of things that impact college retention. We focused in on factors that had the largest impact on STEM and college retention. And we actually looked particularly at engineering so that we could get a big enough group of students that were all doing something kind of sort of similar. This research that I'm going to show you a few things from, like I said, is a long-term data intensive project, but we have developed some work some things that we think we're going to find are very interesting to all students across West Virginia, or about all students across West Virginia. And we are looking for partners throughout the state for this, a survey-based snapshot. So it's not so hard on the institution. For the group I'm going to show, these are just our West Virginia high school students, not out-of-state students. So when you look at students leaving a major, you'll see that our rural students and our first-gen students do leave engineering at a higher rate than their non-rural, non-first generation peers. The scary thing is, generally, if you are a STEM major, when you leave your STEM major, you just change to something else. But if you're rural or first gen, you're much more likely to depart the college. You drop out when you have to leave that STEM major. And the other thing is, for most of our students, if they make it through that first 3 semesters, they're pretty solid. For rural and first gen students, the hazard extends further into their academic career. So I know I kept mentioning math, and we're doing a lot of work with math in the schools. And if we consider staying in college overall, high school preparation is the leading risk factor But both rural and first generation are at additional risk, even after correcting for high school preparation. Not being ready to enroll in calculus the first semester decreases your odds of staying in engineering by more than a factor of 2. For staying in engineering, neither rural or first gen were significant once you corrected for the high school preparation, but rural and first generation students were much more likely to have a high school preparation that did not get them ready for math. If we look at their ACT or their high school GPA, we don't see huge differences, but we do see that rural and first generation students have significantly less access to AP, and that rural students have significantly more transfer credits. And both of those things do correlate with this negative math readiness.